When I was a little girl, I loved princesses and ball gowns. When asked what I wanted to be when I grew up, I replied, a princess. Now, as I grew older, I became more interested in the dystopian futuristic stories. The book I chose is The Selection by Kiera Cass, a novel combining both my love for ball gowns and futuristic tales. Now, I borrowed this book from a very good friend of mine. Generally, we have the same interests, so of course, when I saw her constantly reading this book, like every time I saw her, naturally I became interested. And I'm glad I did. This story takes place in a country called Ilia. Ilia was once a place called North America. After a Third World War, Ilia, at the time North America, was taken over by China. And then after Fourth World War, Ilia gained their freedom. But they retained the monarchy, and they continued having the Chinese caste system. The main character in this story is America Singer. America is in the fifth caste, the musicians and the artists. Now, the musicians and the artists make just enough money to put food on their table, and even that is difficult for them to come by sometimes. Ilia has a tradition that when it's time for the prince to marry, 35 girls from around the country will be chosen and brought to the palace, and the prince himself gets to choose his wife. Now, of course, the downside to that is that that's a lot of pressure on the prince, as well as there's a lot of competition among the girls. When America becomes one of the chosen, she is not happy, because she didn't want to be part of the selection, because she already is in love with another guy. And that, to her, was not a very convenient position. Now, this brings me to a very important topic on the book. The selection is, first and foremost, a love story. Now, I have never liked love stories. Not really in any particular reason, I just never have liked them. But something about the selection really drew me in. It's not just the love triangle that shapes throughout the story, but it's also the futuristic possibility of northern and southern rebels laying attacks on the castle while the selection is going on. And that keeps you on the edge of your seat because you're like, what will happen? America is a bit of a rebel herself, though it takes about the whole book for her to realize that she could possibly change the way Ilia is run. The passage I chose is when America is explaining to Prince Maxon about the troubles that she has faced. She has just told Maxon to imagine what it's like to live with someone that you love. How would it feel if they're experiencing these pains? She needs you to provide for her and protect her. And if it came to a point where there was absolutely nothing to eat, and you couldn't even fall asleep at night because the sound of her stomach growling kept you awake. At this point, Maxon asked her to stop because he is the prince and he knows nothing about these troubles that America herself has experienced. Now, this paragraph didn't only touch the heart of Prince Maxon, but it also touched my heart because, like Maxon, I have never known hunger, and I found that it's very interesting that the author decided to bring up a problem that, yes, it's a problem in America's time, but it's also a problem in our time, and I thought that was a very neat way of weaving the hunger and pain into the story that many people have suffered and are suffering right now. At any rate, I highly recommend this book. It has a very good storyline and is very well written.